learning about the ladder conversion method. So when we think about numbers, we want to make sure that we are using the shortest number possible to describe something. So if we have, like, say, 90,472,000,000, that's kind of a difficult number to remember. On the other hand, saying 9.4, very easy to remember. So in order to make it so that numbers are easier to remember, we use a thing called prefixes in the metric system. So we have a set of 6 that we're going to focus on right now. We start in the center with our base, and our base might be meters, or liters, or grams. Meters being distance, liters being volume, grams being mass. So moving out to the right, if we have something that's 1/10 of the size, so the same as dividing by 10, we call it deci, which we abbreviate lowercase d. As we move a little further to the right, we have something that's 1/100th, or dividing by 100, which we call centi, because 100 is abbreviated with a C. And moving even further to the right, we have 1/1000th, or dividing by 1,000, which we call milli, which we abbreviate M. So this is if we're getting smaller, and if you'll notice, this is 1/10 of the size of the middle, which is the same as 1. This is 1/10 of the size of a deci. This is 1/10 the size of a centi. So we're dividing by 10 each time we move between prefixes to the right. Looking on the left, we have times 10, which we would call deca, which we abbreviate with a big D. Then we have times 100, which we call hecto, which is H. And we have times 1,000, which is kilo, which is K. So as you can see, we have K, H, D, base, D, C, M. Now, is that going to be super easy to remember? Probably not. So what we've done is we've come up with a way for you to remember. King Henry died by drinking chocolate milk. Okay? So if you remember that sentence, you can remember what order your bases go in. So now we need to do some conversions. So let's take, for example, 12.45 kilograms, and we want to convert that to centigrams. Okay? Now if you'll notice, as we go to the right, we're dividing by 10 each time. As we go to the left, we're multiplying by 10 each time. So one jump is equal to times 10 or divided by 10. One jump is equal to one move of the decimal point. So what we're going to do is we're going to put an X where we're starting. So we're starting here at kilo. We're going to put a dot where we want to end. So we're going to end here at centigrams. Then we hop between our different prefixes. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we were moving to the right. So what we're going to do now is we're going to move our decimal to the right, doing the same thing. So our 12.45, we go once, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that's where our decimal place ends. Now you'll notice there's some empty spots here. Can we leave those empty spots? No. We need to change that. So we put zeros in for those empty spots. Now we're going to rewrite this for our final answers. So 1, 2, 4, 5, zeros. And we can't forget our units. Our units is centigrams. Okay, so as you can see, as we move to the right by jumping from prefix to prefix, we also moved our decimal to the right. So let's take a look at another example. So I'm going to erase this. Okay, for our next example, let's look at 0.0945 milligrams to centigrams. In this case, we're starting here at milli. We're hopping once to get to centi. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our decimal point, and since we moved to the left previously, we're going to move to the left now. So our answer would be 0.00945 centigrams. We're going to do one more example together. Let's say that you have 1,345 milligrams, and we want to take that to decagrams. When you look at this, you don't necessarily see the decimal point right away. However, it's there, hanging out at the end. So bear that in mind as we start with our ladder method. So we are starting at milligrams, so we put our X down at milligrams. We jump once to centi, once to deci, once to base, once to deca. So we have 4 jumps total. So we're going to do the same thing here. We jump once, twice, 3 times, 4 times. So our answer is going to be 0.1345 decagrams. Please feel free to put any questions you may have in the comments, and remember to check on Google Classroom for anything you may need.